Hey guys, this is Raptor off of Blaster Forum. We finally got a good day today, so I thought I would do something for y'all that a lot of people have tried to do and I don't think anybody's been able to explain very well. And that is, we're going to try successfully to take the TORS system off this blaster once and for all, get every little piece off of there. This is a 2001 Blaster. This is kind of my instructor's bike, if you will. It's in pieces. It's in pretty rough condition if you look at it, but it's mostly there, and I've got enough stuff that I can teach people and not feel bad if we cut it up or make a few mistakes. Anyways, you're not going to need a whole lot to do this. Basically, just a pair of diagonal cutters, dikes, pocket knife even would work, whatever you want to call it, a pair of these. What you want to do, first of all, let's look at this blaster. Pretty typical. I've already got the plastic off, sitting in a pile, fuel tank, hood, tank cover, etc., etc. Now, what we're going to want to do is first take your wiring harness, your factory wiring harness, and peel all the electrical tape off of it. Basically, you're going to unwrap it. That's what I've been doing here for about the last 5-10 minutes before I made this video. Gone through the whole quad, taking all the tape off the wiring harness, so all we're left with is bare wires up to the handlebars. Now, next step, you want to work from the front to the back when taking this apart. This blaster is missing a couple parts. I'll point them out along the way. It shouldn't confuse anybody. It shouldn't hurt the explanation. First thing you want to do is find the TORS system. You're going to have yellow and black wires. There's going to be a switch, micro switch in your throttle housing. This one had one. If you can see it, it's already been cut out. And there'll be a corresponding plug. The wire run down the handlebars. There'll be a corresponding plug under the hood somewhere. You'll also have a switch in the ever-popular brick on top of the carburetor. It too has a double plug. Let me find it. I know it's on here. I didn't cut it yet. Right here. It's got a double plug which goes into this brick on top of the carburetor. That's your carburetor switch for the TORS system. There's also a small black box, I call it the brain, which mounts up under the hood right here. The previous owner on this quad already took the brain off of this one, but it will be there, and it will have a three-prong, if you call it that, plug for the wiring. Now, we're going to do some harness surgery. Time to have some fun and cut some wires. First step, go to the top, open up your throttle housing if somebody hasn't already done it, take out the micro switch. You can plug the hole right here with a small bolt to keep water and debris out, and follow that, in this case, imaginary wire down to the front. Now, this looks like a major bird nest, but it's not as complicated as people think. Let me try to explain this best I can. Okay, first three wires here. You have a green, you have a brown, and you have a black with female plugs on the end. These are your headlight wires. This blaster has no headlight, so I'm just going to leave them dangling. Next, you've got the secondary black box. That is your CDI box. You have 4 wires on this one. And this is from 2002 on back to 1988. You're going to have a black wire. It's going to have a red chaser, red stripe on it. You're going to have a solid black wire. You're going to have a black wire, I'm sorry, 5 wires, my bad. You'll have a black wire with a white chaser, solid orange wire, and you'll have a white wire with a red chaser. These are needed for the engine to run. Do not mess with these. This plug here, that's just your handlebar controls, ground wire. Over in here you'll see 2 wires going to the voltage regulator. Again, no headlights, so I'm just going to kind of leave this alone for now, and pardon the missing bolts. Leave that alone. Now, to get rid of your TORS system, and if you do this right, you can get the whole works out with a couple snips. It'll come out in one piece. First thing to do, find the TORS brain on your bike. This one's gone, but you'll still see it. Find the plug where it connects to the main wiring harness. In this case, it's right here. The plug's been snipped off, but it's still there and you can see. Now, take this and follow one wire at a time. You're going to have to get rid of both of them at once. Now, before we do this, come on around here and look. You'll see, after you unpeel all the tape off the wiring harness, you're going to see that there's some yellow tape holding wires together. Go ahead and undo this as well. Take your fingers, peel off all this yellow tape, get rid of that. Now, this camera's not doing very well, but what you have now is a small crimp in the wire. It ties basically 4 or 5 wires into one circuit. Now, the blaster electrical system is very straightforward. You have a common ground for everything on the whole chassis, and it will ground out right here against the ignition coil. Again, pardon the missing bolt there. And this orange wire will be attached to the coil. In this case, it's not, because that's not actually a blaster coil. It's put on here for the sake of this demonstration. No matter. Okay. Anyways, the common ground is right here. All of these solid black wires, solid black, no chaser, are your ground wires on the blaster, and they're all tied into one circuit, which is good. So when all you're doing to cut out the TORS system is the TORS is it's either makes or breaks the connection. That's all there is to it. And if it makes the connection, you lose your spark and the engine dies. It has nothing to do with the fuel supply. If you break the connection, it'll run, and normally we're going to break that connection. In other words, we're going to hack this thing right out of the wiring harness, so you won't have to deal with it anymore. Now, go back here, pick up your plug that was plugged into the TORS brain. Take it, trace one wire. There's a black wire. Hopefully you can see with this kind of crappy camera. And you will see it also ties into one of those crimp together fittings under the yellow tape. Take your cutters, cut that one black wire clean off. That goes from the main harness to your TORS plug. Now you're left with two wires attached. You have a yellow right here, and you have a black. This black is just a ground wire. So trace it down the harness, take it here, oops, and you will see that it also stops at a spliced together fitting. Again, take your cutters, find the wire. Make sure I get the right one again. I lost it. I don't want to cut the wrong thing. It comes out down here. Take this wire. I'm trying to do this holding the camera with the cutters. It ain't working out too well. Take it and, excuse me, take it and cut. There. Now you have two of the three. Now, you can take the plug with the brain attached or not, either way, pull the wires you just cut free. Now you have one more yellow wire. This wire goes down to the carburetor cap switch. Here it is. Trace it down. Get this bird nest out of the way, and you will come to the carburetor cap switch. You can get rid of this thing. This is not needed. Pull, off it comes. Two wires. Again, you have another ground from the carburetor cap tied into the main ground for the bike. That's the black wire off the carburetor cap. Find the crimp connector, cut the black wire. No big deal. Snip, and we're done. Pull it out of the way. Now you have the yellow. Now your carburetor cap plug is free. Unhook it, just kind of pull it out of the harness, peel it away, get out of the way. Once it's unraveled from everything, and Yamaha seems to do a very good job of tangling wires together from the factory. It's just how they do things. Once you've gotten this plug out, you're going to see it's tied in again. There's one more yellow wire. There's two hooked together. The second yellow wire would have gone from the switch on the handlebars down to the TORS system. Since this one's gone, some guy just taped the two together. So that switch, this plug would have gone up here. There would have been a plug on here which would have gone up to your throttle housing. It's gone on this blaster. If you have one, unplug it, cut the plug off. Here's what you'll have left. Now we got one more black wire. It also attaches to a common ground here on the chassis. Again, last time, take cutters, snip, and we're done. Now you can successfully pull all of the TORS wiring out of your wiring harness. Take it, pull, again, get all these wires free. It'll take a minute, no need to rush anything. Pull some more. Almost there. Okay, and voila. There is all of the TORS system taken out of your wiring harness. And if you had the TORS brain still attached, it would be there would be a 3-hole plug. It would be attached right there. In this case, it's gone, so I just have some naked wires. These are trash. Basura. Bye-bye. Not going to use that anymore, however you say it. Okay, now the TORS system is successfully removed from your blaster. If this is all you want to do, you can tape the wiring harness back up and get back to riding. What I do is start at the back, tape towards the front, hold the wires together, and you'll get there. You can also go ahead, if you want to, and cut the plug here off at the carburetor cap. I'm going to leave it for now because I'm fixing to take the whole thing off, just put a kit. But you can cut that plug off too to simplify wiring and not have a dangling plug. Last thing to do, and I'll be quick because I'm hitting 10 minutes right now, I don't want to fill my memory up. If you're running oil injection, this bike still has it, you have 2 more wires here. These are just for the low oil warning light. Take them off, unplug them, and you can fish them out of the back of the harness. The 2 wires here, the blue and the black, are for your tail light. Leave them alone. Come back here, fish these wires out, follow them up as well to the front of the bike. You can pull the green wire out and just leave it hanging. The other black wire is simply a ground. Same situation. It is also tied in right here to the common ground on the bike. It's this one. Okay. Squeeze this, cut, off it comes. That's just the ground wire for your low oil warning light. If the oil injection's gone, get rid of it. You don't need extra wiring hanging in there. Now follow this dark green wire all the way up to the front of the quad. Blah blah blah. You will see, and if you have the headlight already unplugged, you'll find the green wire is going to run right to one of the connectors, and you basically just have to untangle this whole thing from the harness and take it off. Again, you don't need that green wire. That's just a signal for low oil warning on the light, and that won't